Hello guys, welcome back to my channel World of Flutter. So today we are going to take a look at the path provider package. If you want to see the implementation of this package using the example they have given in the examples tab, then please watch this video till the very end. The publisher of this package is flutter.dev, which means that this is an official package by Flutter, and the license is BSD 3 clause. And as per the likes, pub points and popularity, we can see that this package is highly efficient and good to use. And the platform on which we can use this is Android, iOS, Linux, macOS and Windows. So let's just jump straight ahead into installation. So for installing this package, you can either run this command in the terminal, or else you can copy this line of code and paste it in the YAML file under dependencies and run pubget. So that is what I have done here. So this is the basic Flutter demo app that you get when you make a new Flutter project. And here in my YAML file under dependencies, I have added this line of code and I have done pubget. So once you do pubget in the messages tab, you'll be able to see that your package has been successfully added. So once you're done, then you can copy this line of code and you can paste it in wherever file you want to use it. So I'm going to use it in main.dart. That is where I can copy this and I can paste it in my main.dart. So let's go back into readme. So readme tells you the examples of how you can use it. So you can use await keyword because this is all future that we are going to make it in future. So await can be used because whenever you're reading or writing the files or creating new files, then you need to wait for it to be done. Okay. And they have given a table which tells you that the supported platforms and their path. So this is the supported platforms and these are the different directories that it can support. For example, temporary directory path you will be able to get in all 5 platforms, but similarly for external storage you won't be able to get it in any other platform except for Android. Okay, so this table is quite helpful in understanding which directory is we can access in which platform. Okay, and these are for testing purposes. So path provider now uses a platform interface, meaning that not all platforms share a single platform channel based implementation. So with that change, test should be updated to mock path provider platform rather than the platform channel. So this is for testing, so keep this in mind whenever you're doing the testing. Okay, now let's go into the example. So in the example right here, this is a very basic example. In this example, they have added a list view, and in the list view, there are a list of elevated buttons, and on click of each button, the path will be displayed right below it. So the buttons are different names like get temporary directory, get applications document directory, like that. Okay, and so first of all, what they have done is that they have made their directory variables. So the directory variables are of type directory, which is of future. Okay, because we need to pass it in the future builder, and right now none of them has any value, and they have added functions like request temp directory, request applications document directory, like that. So these functions will be passed on your on press of the elevated button. And then we have 2 more functions, and first is build directory, second is build directories. So build directory is for a single snapshot, and we will check whether the snapshot has a connection state. What is it done or is it waiting, what is it? So on the basis of that, we will check if it is has error or not, and on that basis it will tell whether the path is there or not. Okay, so if it is all good, like connection state is done, snapshot has data, then your path will be returned. So what we are doing here is we are making a text widget which has empty text for now, and we are assigning it value according to our situation, and then we are returning this widget by wrapping a padding over it. So this build directory is basically passed in the builder of the future builder. That is why it's taking a context and a async snapshot. Okay, and it's supposed to return a widget, so that's why it's returning a widget. And similar function is build directories. The only difference is that it's checking for multiple snapshots, which means it's a list of snapshots. Okay, so they are using methods like map and join in order to get multiple paths and combine them together. Okay, so you'll be able to get like /file, /music, /audio, like that. And these are the basic functions that will just simply call the functions that we have, that the path provider gives us, which is get application document directory, get application support directory, get temporary directory, get application cache directory. These are the methods provided by the path provider package, and we will call it and we will save it in the variables that we made above, and then we are going to do a set state so that the rebuild happens. Okay, so that is what we are going to do. And in the build method, we have app bar scaffold, and there is a list view, and in the list view it's returning a column and multiple columns, like first column, second column. So each button is inside a column, and the column has two children. One is of course the button, and the second is the future builder. Okay, in the future builder we are going to pass our value of the directory, the path that we will get, and the builder will have that build directory, or if you have, like, let's say multiple paths, then it will be calling build directories. Okay, so there is an example for build directories also. Yeah, here it is. Okay, so every column has a button and a future builder. So let's just copy this line of code and let's just paste it. So I'm going to copy the whole code, and you can do that with me, and just go in your main.dart and remove the old code and paste it. Okay, so you won't be getting any kind of error if you have successfully added your files in YAML. Okay, and the app name is also same, and let's just do a hot restart. So once you do a hot restart, you'll be able to see different buttons, a list of buttons. Okay, now two of these buttons are disabled. I'll tell you why. And the other buttons, we can see get temporary directory. Now if I click on it, it will give me the path of the temporary directory. Similarly, if I click on get application document directory, it will give me the path accordingly. Okay, so we will just look at the example, one example. So let's say get temporary directory. So in this example, the elevated buttons on pressed is calling the request temp directory, which will call the get temporary directory method and save the value in the temp directory and do a set state. So once you do a set state, it will call the future builder and it will update the value right here, and in the builder, build directory will be called, and build directory will check whether the snapshot has connection state and has error and has data, and if all three are correct, all two are connect, which is connection state done and has data, then in that case your path will be displayed and the text widget will be returned. So that is what it is happening. So you can click on these buttons and you can get the path. Now you can see there are two buttons, which one is saying get external storage directory and one is get external storage directories. So directory is giving you just one path, which is for files, and the second one is giving you file/music. Okay, so that depends on whether you want multiple files or single file. That's why we have two different functions for it. Okay, and now let's talk about the disabled buttons. So the disabled buttons, get application library 1. Yeah, so here why is it disabled? Because they have added a condition. Now they know that this button will not work in Android, but it will work in every other, let's say, platform. Okay, so it's not working in Android, so I'm just going to give a condition. That is what they have given, the platform dot is Android. So it's checking whether the platform is Android or not, and this is being done in onPress also and in the text widgets value also. Okay, so if it is null, if you pass a null in the onPress, then your button will automatically be disabled. Otherwise it will call the method. And similarly, if it is Android, then application library directory unavailable will be printed inside the button. Otherwise it would have printed this, and again when you click on it, it would have worked just like the other buttons. Okay, if it was not an Android device. And similarly, we have this one more button, downloads directory. So this buttons, in this button, this will only work for desktop platforms like Linux, Mac OS, Windows. Sorry, web is not there. Windows. Okay, so that's why they have added a check for Android and iOS, like, or iOS. So if the platform is Android or iOS, then in both the cases this should be null. Okay, and unavailable should be written. Fine. So if you would have like called this using a Windows application or a Linux application, then this would have given you the downloads directory. Okay, so this path provider package, where is it used? It's basically used when you need to read and write files. You need to read and write in the manage external storage. So there's a permission that we need. So manage external storage is one permission, read external storage is one permission, write external storage, like that. So for reading, writing, creating files, you need to know the path where you are going to do it. So here, that's why this, since this is a Flutter official package, this package is used a lot of times when you need to have the path where you are going to do the create and read and write everything. Okay, so this is where it's used generally, and this is what they have written here. It's a plugin for finding the commonly used locations where you can work with the file system. Okay, so this is the summary of path provider package. Please like, share, subscribe, and if you want to see me making a video on a particular certain topic of Flutter or a certain package of Flutter, then please write in the comment section. I'll cover it in my upcoming videos. And thank you so much. I'll see you guys in my next video.